Hello guys, welcome to my another tutorial. And in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to create a helicopter crash scene in Maya. And the final result is going to be something like this. And yeah, let's dive right into it. Uh, First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to model a simple helicopter. If you already have your own model, you can just skip this part. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna make it pretty simple. Um, First of all, I'm gonna start with a polysphere, and just gonna extrude this part. Extrude it one more time, like this loop right here, and extrude it out like that. And can have our knife tools. Cut it twice, and go to our front view, and select those faces, and we can extrude it like that. We can just make it flat. It looks ridiculous, but yeah, it's gonna work for animation. And I'm gonna do next is like those other parts, and we can actually detach it and separate. I got these two parts here. Actually, we can get rid of history, and let's just duplicate this part and center the pivot and rotate and place it right there. So I want to scale it down a little bit. And just scale it down like that. Yeah. Just a simple helicopter. So let's try to animate it. One thing that's really important is it should be grouped. Every single part should be grouped. One should be in a one group, and that's gonna keep those rotors in same place as this main body right here. So yeah, I guess something went wrong. Just get rid of that. It's kind of messy, but yeah, it's not a modeling tutorial, so it's gonna be okay. Let me just center the pivot for those both rotors, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make it rotate permanently. So we can press Shift E to key the rotation, and can rotate it a little bit, and you can press Shift E again, but in my case I just turned the auto key on, so you really have to. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Press E and rotate it a little bit. That's it. And now it rotates, but it just stops. But we can make it permanent. You can simply go to the animation editors, graph editor and um, make it linear first of all, and post infinity and cycle with offset. If you want to see how it goes, you can just go to view and check on infinity. Now it goes like that, and you can just simply hit W and move it down so it goes faster. Quite simple. I actually want to make it super fast like that, and I'm gonna do the same thing here. Make it straight and cycle with offset and make it super fast. There, something's wrong. Actually, we should select it all. So that's gonna work like that. Okay. Now, when we're moving the entire helicopter, we can just move this group. So that's kind of handy. So we can now rotate it like that and hit S to key everything and transform attributes. Actually, not everything, but yeah, you can simply press S to key those kind of transformations. That is, and yeah, just kind of moving it around, and it's just gonna crash like that for my animation. Let's review this out. Yeah, looks weird, but that's gonna work for the actual animation. So actually I want to make it probably smoother. Actually, you can shift and drag to select that, and you can drag it and move those keyframes with your middle mouse click. Right, easy. I think it's so weird. I'll just rotate it a little bit. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah, you know, I have no idea. Yeah, anyways, the basic animations are done, so let's jump into the FX tab to create some kind of explosions and smoke trails, things like that. So this goes like that. So what I'm gonna do first, I actually want smoke trails on that helicopter. So what I can do first is I can simply create a 3D container, but just don't add emitter. That's all you have to do with it. On default setting, you're gonna get an emitter, so just uncheck that and apply and close. Simple. And I'm just gonna move this thing. Actually, I'm going to use the auto resize, so it doesn't really matter, but yeah, let's just make it clean. And now we can select the object and the container and go to the fluid, add edit contents and emit from object. That's gonna emit. Good. And now let's jump into the fluid shape node, and what I'm gonna do now is, first of all, I want this boundary to be a bounding box, because that kind of makes me laggy, so just wanna keep it simple and turn the auto resize, maybe a little bit of margin, and now it goes like that. The animation is quite weird, but yeah, I don't know. It's gonna keep going. And anyways, next thing I wanna do is maybe I wanna emit more than that. Let's go with 200 of rate. And maybe I want to add the emission turbulence, and I wanna add inherent velocity there. A little bit of turbulence and also detail turbulence. So it's just more dynamic like that. And let's just increase the base resolution to see more details. Okay, I think we should change the color first. The color settings are in the shading session, so we can make it darker. Just change the background. You can change the background by hitting Alt and B at the same time. And I just want to make it darker. Hard to see. Maybe we should emit more. That. And decrease the transparency to see it better. And maybe lighting is the problem. Let's enable the self shadow so we see it better. And next thing I'm gonna do is gonna deal with content details, and we're using density for those smokes. And what's really important is the gradient force. Let's like 50. It makes it more like, yeah, those kind of wispy effects. If you add too much, it's gonna look like some sort of dry eye stuff. So be careful with that. Just set it like that. I think we should oh, let me just disable evaluations for a sec and just edit the animation a little bit. The movement is so weird, so I'll change it a little bit. You should slow down. Yeah, maybe slightly better. Yeah. And let's add some fire on that helicopter. It's quite simple. To create a fire, we actually need the temperature emission there in the same fluid container emitter. The heat methods is already here, so we can simply turn temperature from off to dynamic rate like that, and yeah, it works. You can kind of go to the incandescence tab and kind of tweak the gradient to make it better like that. I think that's not bad. Something about opacity right here. Yeah, you can make it more like dense looking. That's basically it. You can tweak more if you want to add more details. If you want to make those smoke a little bit like thinner, you can just use distance option. For example, if you lower this out, you get thinner particles. Yeah, that's basically it. Maybe you can change it to Omni so you can see more significant difference like that. Maybe for this kind of effect, maybe Omni would be better. It's too small, I guess. Okay, that's not bad. Actually, make it thicker, I guess. Let's add some noise as well, and swirl, and swirl noise, and more of those turbulence would help us out. Okay. Higher gradient force looks better. And let's add some dispersion so it will fade out. Maybe too quick, you can just, yeah, just that. But I wanna chip simulation, so I'm gonna go with this. And finally, you can bump up the base resolution to get high quality effect. Can even increase the um, soft steps, but I'm not gonna do that because I want to save time. And next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna disable evaluation, and I'm gonna create another effect for another explosion when it crashes to the ground. And I'm actually gonna um, fill it with particles. Maybe too much. Just need a little bit of it. So just fill it with some particles like that. And next thing I'm gonna do, select a particle first and select the body for the helicopter. And we can use gold, so it's gonna stick to the surface. Actually, I don't want that to be like smooth, so let's go to the gold settings and zero out the gold smoothness and just set the gold weight to like full. Now it's gonna stick perfectly. And next step is select the nParticles and the polyplane, so we can make collision by creating a passive collider on that polyplane. You can find this option in the enclosed tab. Kind of weird, but yeah, enclosed um, collider works for like most of my simulation, except fluids maybe. You should make collide for fluids. That's kind of an exception. So it collides with the actual ground. So now we can create a collision event for this M particle. So you can simply go to particle collision event editor in nParticles tab, and you can simply set the event name. I'm just gonna call it explode, and when it collides you can choose some options, but I'm gonna use emit, and one would be enough maybe, and I want original particle to be removed, and we can just create event and let's see how it works. So that side, and yeah, maybe too huge, too big, so we can simply increase the mass to make it like slower, and don't go too far. Maybe it's overwrapping, so it goes crazy like that. Maybe we should reduce the particle size. So let's see, even more. Is there any self collision? Let's add damp as well. Maybe friction is too high. It's gonna be not bad. Actually, I wanna make it bigger. Boom. Okay. Now I'm gonna create another 3D container for explosion. I'm gonna use the same setting. We're gonna use temperature. So set it to dynamic grade. And maybe fuel as well. And for display, we're gonna display it as a bounding box. And we can select the nParticle 2 which is emitted by the collision event, and select the container, and we can emit from object. So that works. Let's make it resize automatically like we did on that one right there. So let's see the actual effect. So I'm gonna use the self shadow, and basically we're gonna do the same thing. Make it emitter type 2 only, and maybe higher emission rate. You can use the distance setting as well. And also I wanna use inherent velocity there. Yeah. And maybe turbulence. We'll make it more interesting. Okay, let's increase the resolution then. Let's work on content details. Works like that. Before we do that, let's make the color darker, and lower the transparency, increase the opacity. Okay, and we can go to content details, and in the density section we can add noise, little bit of dispersion, and also gradient force. Do the same thing here. And in temperature, I'm gonna make the turbulence really intense. So yeah, and more noise, and higher dispersion, maybe lower diffusion. Actually, I'll make it like that, and add another color there. Wanna make it even brighter in center. So yeah, and actually we can use textures for that. So we can make noise there. Doesn't really appear right now since it's got very low resolution. By the way, we should make collision between the fluid and the ground. So let's do that now. Select the fluid and the floor, and we can make collide. simple. And yeah, it works. Um, yeah, almost done here. You want to make it even darker. Make it like really thick. And yeah, let's try something on emitter. Yeah, it's not working. Just wanna give it default. Maybe more density emission. Too high, maybe. Yeah. Maybe you can add more gradient force. I think it's almost done. Make it a bit more noisy. Let's make the resolution higher, so we see more details there. Just you can keep tweaking those settings so you can get your best result. Obviously it's not the best result, but you can keep work on this. Like you can even add some fills like air or even more turbulence like that. That's gonna help you out. But I think most important is that um, the emitter settings, like those, and those turbulence and gradient force, and the actual shading, like opacity or color, like that. Other than that, nothing really matters. If you want like high-end simulation, you can go ahead to dynamic simulation and increase the softness or solver quality, but not in my case. Sweet. Actually, you can add some damp. I just forgot that. Yeah, that's basically all I can do. So now from now I'm gonna make it a time lapse, so yeah, you got the essential information, so you can just watch the rest of the video or you can work it on your own. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you subscribe to my channel and leave a comment, and see ya.